So here we go. It's DIY Marketing Month,
Yeah,
Mondays,
it is.
with Linda and Elisa.
This is it, folks. It is about your content today. And we want to just separate the fact that there is content and then there is content marketing. So the content itself is a subject matter. It's the creative material. It's what you use in all of your posts, in all of your blogs, and in all of your material. But the content marketing is something totally different. It's the strategy that you have about your content. It's how you arrange it and where you put it. So that is kind of how what we're going to be doing today and explaining. Linda, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I am.
Oh, there you are.
I learned how to do the solo layout. So when you're
Okay,
talking,
when I'm talking, okay, good.
and then
good,
I can multitask with my notes on what are we supposed to be talking about today? Oh, right, content marketing.
Okay, so let me continue because I thought you dropped off there for a minute.
No, this is just live streaming fun tricks. Back to you.
So DIY marketing, content and content marketing today. I am Elisa Bruno Medilli, Chief Content Creator for Cafe Realty, your local independent and community-focused real estate company in the Hudson Valley. And we're here to give you some information about how to create great content and how to use content marketing as a strategy in your business. And Linda?
Yes. Hi. Thank you. I am actually I figured out how to do the watch party. So I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
My name is Linda Ray. My company is Aurora Consulting, and we are commercial financing brokers, and we help businesses secure funding so that they can not only survive this insanity, but thrive as well. I'm also a licensed insurance broker in the state of Connecticut. And so we're up here in Connecticut. We work out of our home mostly, but we do have an office. And I love marketing. So I love marketing so much. I've been doing it for a few decades. And so I go in and out of doing other types of businesses. But essentially, to me, marketing is always at the core. It's always part of the process. And so I just thought, Lisa had said it's DIY. Well, she wants to do a marketing show. And I said, well, just so happens that June is DIY marketing month. So let's put together some things that we struggle with as well, because we're all in this together in so many different ways, just staying safe and healthy, and also our businesses staying healthy. And so today is content. And I think with content, we've talked in the last 2 weeks, we did creating stories. And how that's effective part, which is also content. And also then last week we talked about video. And those are like the what and the how, but I think content is also just probably one of the most, I think it's the biggest conundrum of what it all means.
Right. Well, Linda, content is king far as any business.
King. Yeah, baby.
Everything about you and your business and your message, and it's the most important thing. And especially, take for instance today, it has a title. So the title of this month-long series is called DIY marketing. So the first thing that you have to have when you're doing something is a title or a subject matter. And that's part of the content. That starts the content off. So I think we were going to go into a few things today, like the challenges of creating content and content marketing, the strategy behind it. Why do you need content? Who's your target audience? Where do you put your content? When do you post your content or deliver your content? And then the different types of content. And what good content does. So there's a lot of information here that we want to share with you. And as the marketing person for Cafe Realty, I find that having fabulous content that really outshines everything that outshines everything else around you will bring attention to what you're doing. So again, like this session is called DIY marketing, we want to help you to, with your content today.
Well, I think with content, and Elisa, I love how you bring up that content is the what and how people consume your content, and how your and the what of your message and the why of your message for your business. I think the content strategy is where it gets a little overwhelming if we're going to go into challenges, even though I don't have my notes in front of me because I printed them, and I thought the little pigeon was going to bring them to me, but evidently not.
Well, that he will. He always delivers, right?
So now I have to do my scroll, and I don't even know what that does to the live stream when I go to another page on my computer. But I think the strategy is the challenge. How the business owner is managing the delivering of the content, and so it's there's different ways that people consume content. You have your audio, if you love to do podcasts. You have your video, which captures both audio and visual. And then you have the written word, which of course is key for SEO and the written word goes into everything about the content that we are already doing, because you have to have descriptions for your posts. You have to write what the video is about and, describe all that. So I think the strategy is where it gets a little overwhelming. What do you think?
Yeah. The strategy, is a little overwhelming. However, it's something that is necessary. So when you are looking to advertise or market your business, your product, your service, if you don't step back and look at it from a marketing standpoint, you're just putting random information out there. So this strategy kind of pulls everything together, and it's going to put it into a consistent and frequent, delivery of that content. And your audience is going to receive it wherever they are and wherever you post it. So, there are a lot of different components when you talk about strategy.
Exactly. And I think, so where to start is a good place to start, maybe. Hey, Tracy. Hello, Tracy Benson. And Veronica's with us too. Hello, Veronica, in Massachusetts.
Hi, Veronica.
So where to start? I think the first place to start, besides admitting that you're like, okay, well, how do I organize all of this? There's the branding isn't just the logo and the design with your colors. The branding is also the messaging and what you want to convey about your business and why you're in business. And so I think that's why, without getting too tangential, why a business plan is really important, because the business plan is going to have your message with your vision and your mission statement, and it's going to have your ideal client and who your ideal client is. And I think that's a really that's the toughest part for me. I mean, especially we're transitioning and repositioning our business. So it's that persona, you talk about like, well, who's your ideal client, and the getting your ideal client can be you can get very granular. You can have the demographic of who your ideal client is, and are they married people? Are they single people? Or do they have kids? It depends on your business, of course, but that persona of your target audience can get very granular. And then when you have that, you're going to know how to position your message so that everything around the content that you create is then building upon that message.
Well, Linda, that message is your foundation for why you're in business. So your mission, your vision, your values, and then your brand pillars
Yes.
build on what that
Oh,
business is
yes.
about.
The
So,
brand pillars.
when you have those, that when you have all of that, then you can kind of grow from there. So then your message comes out of there. You take those brand pillars, you take that mission, and then you have taglines. You have different things that you say about your business, which is
Right.
part of your content. So again, the content itself and then the strategy are two different things. But I think maybe we want to talk a little bit about the content itself, and what that is, and then put that content into a strategy. So again, the content is, like Linda said, it's the written words, it's what you write. So be careful of what you write, because your language and the words that you use are going to be what your business is and what the message you're trying to convey. So it's all about the message. And if your message is out there and your content is strong and you use visual, you use video, you use if it's a podcast, or if it's a video, or if it's a blog or an email blast, you got to make sure that content is consistent and frequent. So in order to gain that audience, and yes, your audience is granular, but it can be a niche market that you're trying to put that message out to. So you can have a marketing plan, but your niche market is within that plan. So if I want to target a specific demographic that is, or a specific person that's interested in doing something, somebody that's interested in relocating or moving, or somebody that wants to buy a house on a golf course. I mean, you have things that are very specific about marketing. I'm talking about real estate, but in your business, it's the same thing. You want to kind of see what that message is, and ask, though, you want your audience to kind of ask questions, or you want to answer your audience's questions. So that's kind of what you're doing to build trust as well. So, that's what we need. We need people that know, like, and trust us. So this content builds that. It kind of it builds that up for you.
Well, yes, and I would love to jump in with something that I learned the hard way. So, having been in insurance for 30 years, it's I would get bogged down in the insurance speak of how underwriters talk, and claims and appraisals and all that language. And I think the thing is, if we're just talking about the written word right now, because it is key in everything that we do. The audio and the video is awesome, and it's how you level up. But I think the managing the written word, because of SEO and having the internet be your 24/7 salesperson. The thing is, you have to know how normal people are talking about buying your services. You can't pontificate with all of the vernacular that makes you sound really smart in your business, because
Right.
people aren't searching for that kind of stuff. They're like Elisa said about the golf course. When someone's buying a house on the golf course, you got to know, like, what kind of language they're using in their search. And that's one awesome thing about with the internet. You can politely stalk competitors and see how they're positioning their offering. There's nothing wrong with that. That's one of the things that I did. I wanted to see how are insurance people talking to the public, because no one really does anyone really want to talk about insurance? Not really.
No.
Nobody wants to talk about it. So
No.
right. So that's one way to do it. And then the other thing is also, there's certain, and I'm not a website design person, but there's certain ways that you can search the search words that are around your type of business, and how people are searching. So I want to say everything that you said is awesome. I just want to say, as far as the challenge piece and being the devil's advocate, I think being incredibly sensitive to the words that people use to search your business, because it's one thing to create content. It's the end game is the consumer action. How are consumers and customers taking action so that all the time and effort and money you spend into your marketing, how is that profitable for you? Because,
Right.
you know, it costs money.
Well,
So,
yeah. So what you're saying, Linda, is we have to emotionally connect with those people and use language and use visuals that are going to connect people to what we want to say. And then when they search, they'll find it. So it's that
correct.
emotional connection that gets people to buy your service, to buy your product. You know, people don't think logically all the time. They think with their emotions. So that
Exactly.
emotional connection when you are creating your content is something that's going to be very important, because that's going to improve your SEO. It's going to improve your customer relationships. It's going to answer questions. It's going to do all the things that your marketing should do. It should solve people's problems. This is to solve a problem. So
Exactly.
we want to make sure that that language and the way it's delivered is something that is going to be user friendly.
If this is a great point you're bringing up about solving a problem. If people
Mhm.
are presenting their problems by way of searching or looking for you to hire you for your
Mhm.
product or service, the thing is you have to understand how to present your solution. And so
Correct.
that's the content, that's the content piece.
Mhm.
So then that's why I was kind of honing in on the language
Right.
of
Yeah.
the words that are associated around your business.
Yeah. That's the language is very, very important, because you can have a business that's got multiple audience segments.
Right.
And it's not only, one person, but, with marketing, again, if you try to target everyone, you're not going to reach anyone.
That's
So
true. Yep.
using the correct language and the content and the emotional connection is going to, help those people that should be seeing your content see it. So that's how that all works.
Right. And I have a scroll, I have a quote,
I see that.
and I don't, yeah, and I don't remember who the CEO, where he's from. I don't remember where I got it from, which piece, but it says to win the content marketing game, brands need to focus more on optimized, personalized, and influencer
Mhm.
activated content experiences. So
Right.
yeah, so I like that. I have a couple of quotes I'm going to be popping into the scroll.
Right. And I found a great content marketing piece this morning online. And it basically said, what is content marketing? A useful content should be at the core of your marketing. So that, is the number one thing. And content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience.
Hmm.
Again, you have to define that audience, and ultimately to drive profitable consumer action.
Yes,
So your call to action is part of your content. Again, if we
exactly.
didn't have a title to this session today and this month, nobody would really even know what it's about. So you have someplace to start. Call your event something. You have a title. When you learned to write back in the third grade or fourth grade, you had to create a subject.
Right.
So, what is your subject, and where is your audience? What do they look like? What should that sound like? And I create a lot of written content, blogs, email blasts, all types of posts.
Hmm.
So I want to make sure that the language is there so that when somebody sees that, they know exactly what I'm talking about, and they say, oh, yeah, that solves my problem. Or maybe I need to ask a question.
Hmm.
So these things are all, they're all important to, get that foundation going, because every company needs marketing,
Hmm.
and content marketing is part of that, and should be part of the budget as well, because, it's some of it is low cost, no cost, but some of it does have cost attached to it.
So let's talk a little bit about since we discussed some of the challenges as far as overwhelm and where does someone start, and basically who's the audience and what's your message. Those are some of the challenges. As far as addressing those challenges, I personally, I'm an accountability junkie. It's one of the things I typically recommend if ever I'm talking about anything related to my business. I think there's a way, there's no I in team. So I think the more that you collaborate with people who are like-minded and have similar goals to up level their marketing game, I think working with someone, or just having an accountability partner or group or advocacy of some kind, it helps to propel, it helps to keep the momentum going on the various aspects, because we've been talking about SEO, we've been talking about you know uh, if you're writing, or if it's audio, or if it's video, basically, and we're just talking about connecting and the calls to action and SEO. Those are all components. So, the challenge of how overwhelming all of that is, and then how do you put it all together? I mean, you can certainly hire a professional content person or marketing person, but I also think there are people that hire in different capacities. You can hire a writer to do your blogs. And before I forget, even if this is not the proper segment to bring this up, I must say, because I probably am going to bring this up a couple of times. Whatever marketing you're doing, don't forget that you can repurpose it and use it across various not channels. You can post to Facebook and LinkedIn, but I'm talking about, you write a blog, you can take a sentence out of a blog or a paragraph out of a blog, and you can then make that into a post, just a mini micro post. And then you can actually do a quick 1-minute video talking about that you wrote that blog and a highlight from that blog.
Right.
And there you go. You have a video, you have posts, and you have the blog, and it's all how you bring traffic. So even though I'm not sure where we are in our outline.
Well, you bring up a very good point. Well, we're kind of going through the outline because we're hitting all the points about why content is king and why marketing is queen, basically. Yeah. And you're hitting all those points, but that is great because you are great at doing that, at using what you already have and taking parts of it and continuing to build on that message. Yes. So you're building on a message and you're posting it in different places. So, I think what's next on this list is what are the types of content? And I've been going to a website called HubSpot for a very long time. And I started marketing this business almost 7 years ago, but I really started getting interested in studying marketing about 10 years ago. So I've been using HubSpot as a really good source for a lot of marketing and content information. So there are 12 types of content that they mention here. Blogs, videos, infographics, which are fun. I know you use those too, Linda. Case studies, ebooks, user-generated content, which is interesting. That's an interesting concept. Checklists, memes, testimonials and reviews, white papers, how-to, which are kind of, could be a video. And influencers, where you would have the paid content. So you can pay to have your content boosted. So, those types of content are used across all of your platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you have an account. So, you don't have to have all those accounts. You might have one or two that you're focusing on. It doesn't have to be everything everywhere, because every one of those platforms every one of those social channels has a different audience demographic.
Exactly. And I want to bring up Tracy's point here, because she put a comment up about addressing hashtags.
Correct.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to hijack this a little bit, because hashtags are part of the what
they are.
You're talking about. And I remember when I started Twitter back in 2009, I loved hashtags. I
Yeah.
still love hashtags. I think it's
Do.
brilliant. I think it's brilliant about how
Yep.
hashtags are so purposeful and so functional as
Yeah.
well, because obviously, as you know, they're hyperlinked and they're a category. They create a category for people to search and for your content to be highlighted within that category. So Tracy's question is, can you address best practices in using hashtags for other techniques to increase the chance of target audiences seeing your content? Now, this is where it gets a little tricky with hashtags, and I'm just going to stick with Instagram for this
Right.
example of what I'm going to say. So with Instagram, when you are if you don't have tens of hundreds of thousands of followers, the proverbial they, whoever
Mhm.
they are, the experts, they do not recommend that you use broad based hashtags in your post, because it'll get lost if you
Mhm.
have if a hashtag, now this is in the feed. Now let me just give you some good news on this. In your stories on Instagram, using broad-based is absolutely recommended, because it brings more people to your story, and
Right.
stories is newer than the other part of the feed. So they recommend using, so if you're going to use marketing, hashtag marketing, use it in the story, but using it in your feed in Instagram, just keeping it to Instagram, is discouraged, because you're going to get spammed. People are going to be coming at you and spamming you, and it's not going to be advantageous for the purpose of marketing.
Mhm.
But so, and with Facebook, and with Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, the purpose for, I think, for hashtags is to highlight who you are, what you're talking about in that post in particular, and depending on how more, if you like, a lot of stuff that I post may not be business related. I made a decision back in '09 where I was going to kind of be 80-20. 80% of my 80% was going to be not strictly business, and 20% was going to be strictly business, so that you can, because people connect with other people, they want to know
Mhm.
you're human and not this
Right.
pontificating business dictionary. So I
Mm.
just think that it really helps to highlight what you're talking about, who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. So one trick, and I'm sticking with Instagram on this, because the hashtags with Instagram are so persnickety. If you
Mm.
want, say you take hashtag marketing and look, you want to go in the search bar with Instagram, and you
Mhm.
want to put in hashtag marketing, and you're going to see how many posts that hashtag generates. And then you're going to actually go below that and see what other posts that are under, you want to stay under 100,000 posts. About, like, that's kind of, it could be maybe 250. It's definitely below 500,000 posts. And then
Yeah.
pick hashtags that are in the marketing genre, but not as exhausted in that hashtag.
Yeah.
I don't know, Tracy, does that help at all? Because I don't know if I'm babbling about that. It's a conundrum. Hashtags is its own exercise.
Yeah.
I
It
will tell
is.
you what I do. I do for insurance, and I do it for commercial financing. I was doing it for Trevor's Music. I researched hashtags and then made a library of them in a
Mhm.
notes or somewhere saved in my
Right.
Trello board, which, by the way, Trello or Monday.com helps to keep everything organized for the overwhelm. I keep that, and then I just copy and paste depending on how many hashtags I want to use. So, all
Right.
right, I'm going to stop babbling about that.
No, but that was a good point, because that does become part of your content. And people do search by and follow hashtags.
Yeah.
You can follow a hashtag so that you know what's happening when somebody sees that hashtag, or if they search, or if they're searching, because consumers use different sites like Pinterest and Instagram and Facebook as a search engine. They're
Yeah.
looking for stuff.
That's right.
So, they're looking for content, basically. Instagram, it's a little different because it's more visual. So the visual content really has to be there. And then again, when we were talking about last week, the stories, that's content as well. So that's all, that's all important. And the hashtag is an important thing. I mean, do you have to have every hashtag on every post? No, but like Linda said, pick out the ones that are going to serve you best and serve your audience the best.
Hello, Nancy Stingone. Hello, lovely lady. Are you dancing up a storm these days?
Yes, and Alexandra is here with Tegan.
Oh, yes, Alexandra. Hello, Tegan. I don't know. Do I know?
Yes, you do know Tegan. You've seen her in my marketing. She's the marketing baby.
Yay!
That's my baby.
Yes. Oh, and guess who else is here? Tammy Peterson. And Tammy Peterson is watching because she's probably trying to figure out when we're done because she's coming up to the country to visit, doing a little staycation. Yeah, coming to Aurora.
Right. Yeah, I love Aurora. It's a great spot. And
thank you.
Rob Del Bauzo is also on. Hi, Rob. He's a local owner, Chef Rob. He's a chef.
Ooh,
so
yeah.
Yeah, I kind of share his content, and he's local here in Yorktown. So I'm glad to see some local business. Nancy as well. She's here in Yorktown. So it's good to see my peeps here on Facebook.
And by the way, if you are not following Nancy on Instagram with her baskets, and I love your videos. Now, see that this is exactly what I'm talking about. You can do a very quick video. That's content. And then this is another thing as far as the repurposing. So Trevor and I, we do weekly video. We used to do 2, but this was pre-COVID. We did 2 weekly videos. And we would have some semblance of a script, some highlights, bullet points, and then, improvise and then edit the hell out of it because I would always go off script and Trevor would. Anyway, I have a caption service that I use because if you're going to do video, you're missing out, you're losing out if you're not putting captions on your video. So I have a service. It's very reasonable, a certain amount of time that you can upload videos, and then it does the caption. But this is where it gets fun. You can then take the transcript of the video. It's already there. So I take the transcripts and then we convert it into a blog. Done. And then on my website, I put the blog. And then I put a thumbnail with the video and hyperlink it to the YouTube video. What?
So like people are probably saying, "What did she just say?"
It's so awesome. Email me anytime if
Veronica, did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm telling you that transcript service paid for itself. Paid for itself. So, and let me tell you, since I'm the chief results officer at Aurora Consulting, let me tell you why that is important besides just going through the exercise and what does it mean and the end result. When Trevor and our financing business collapsed on like March 15th, right? Because all the lenders had to corral to start doing the SBA lending and the PPP, the CARES Act, all that.
Right.
And so, oh my God, I think I forgot what I was going to say. What was I talking about? Oh my God, I forgot. All right. What were we just talking about? I can't believe I just forgot.
Did you see something?
Oh yeah. So we had to pivot to disaster financing, mid-50s moment. And so someone from Texas called us to help her with the disaster financing. And we said, how did you find us? Which, of course, everybody should be asking that question. How did you find us? Oh, I did a search and you came up. I'm like, we came up?
Yay.
Our website.
Yay. That's a thumbs up on that.
That is a huge thumbs up. I mean, she's in Texas and then she referred her brother. I'm sorry, because we were writing blogs and making updates on our website and doing videos. So somebody asked a question about the can you put captions on YouTube?
Yeah, that was Nancy.
Yeah, the captions, if YouTube, I know Facebook allows you to have generated captions, I think, right in their native platform. But I use a third-party service to do the transcript, to do the captions, so that when I upload it to YouTube, it already has the captions in the video. So I don't rely on YouTube to generate any captions. I personally do not know if any particular channel has the ability of creating and generating captions within like I said, natively within the platform.
Yeah.
So that's, a lot of this stuff that I've learned is just, poking around. It's just
trial and error.
Yeah, trial and error, just trying to clicking
That's
on
how I learned.
Click, click, click.
Yeah. And a lot of reading, a lot of research. And, it's come a long way from when I first started. And, with the I guess the birth of new platforms and new ways of pushing your information out there. What Linda was saying about somebody called because they did a search, like, wow, that's really great. So that means, and this is one point I want to bring up, original content.
Yeah.
Google loves original content. So original, frequent, and consistent content is going to help you with your search.
Well, can we talk about frequent versus consistent?
Okay, so one thing I want to mention before that, because that's part of this whole thing, like what good content does. So we kind of mentioned them before, but I want to put them in a list format. So what does good content do for you? It creates engagement. It solves a problem. It answers a question, and it conveys a message. So, with that being said, you can, I'll hand it back over to you to say what is consistent and what is frequent, and what does that mean?
Okay, so I think there could be different, this could be debated as far as how often.
Right.
Now, I'm just going to say this. I post every day. Okay. Now,
only once?
Well, it depends. Now, it depends on the platform.
Right.
So you can, depending on who's on Twitter here, raise your hands. Who's on Twitter? Let me use Twitter as an example. I will post the stupidest shit on Twitter. I posted yesterday that I made homemade coleslaw. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Okay.
Nobody cares, huh?
But I do it anyway because it's therapy for me. It's always, Twitter has always been therapy for me. So I get noise out of the head. And there are people out there that respond to it, and then there's a conversation going on about it, maybe not the coleslaw one, but so here in Roxbury, Connecticut, there's been a burn ban. You can't burn during the pandemic unless they designate certain dates. Now you have to get a burn permit in Connecticut. So typically when there's not a pandemic going on, you can burn depending on conditions, air quality conditions. This weekend we were able to burn, and I was lighting shit up on fire. Okay.
Saw that.
I had 3 piles going and burning, and I took video and I posted it. But I didn't post that on I didn't post it on my Instagram feed. I did post it on my stories. I posted it on Twitter. So you can pick where if you need to get stuff out of your system, then you pick the platform that you feel the safest as far as the frequency. So with Twitter, I might post, this is going to be crazy. I might post like 8 posts a day or 12 posts. I might do 3 posts within 5 minutes. I don't care about that. With Twitter, I don't care. I just put it all up there.
Twitter is just a conversation. It's not really a marketing platform as far as I'm concerned. I mean, do we post things there? Yeah, but what you're saying is more for conversation. It's a conversation starter. So people are like, oh, who is Linda Ray? Let me check out her profile. There might be something there.
if your business is national though,
Mhm.
when I had my insurance agency,
Yeah.
there was a whole community of insurance folks. And if
Oh, yeah.
there was a guy in Texas or Ohio who couldn't do it and somebody moved to New York, they knew me. And I wrote a lot of business from Twitter. So
Yeah.
that's
I guess, yeah, it depends on, if you are a business or you're just going on there as just a human being.
right.
So,
Right.
business profile is going to be different. You're
But
right. And it does bring in, it's not a lot of users. So,
Yeah.
you have to be there. You got to be there no matter what.
But this is to not digress so I don't lose my train of thought again. Let me just say there is no reason that you cannot post at least daily, at least one post daily. And I'll tell you why, because you can schedule, you can take a morning or a day and you can build out weeks worth of content and schedule it. You can schedule it natively in Facebook. You can schedule, now that Instagram is owned by Facebook, in the Creator Studio, you can schedule posts for Instagram and Facebook, and you get it out of the way and it's done. You can use Hootsuite, has a free version, and you can then schedule on LinkedIn. And
Right.
so Nancy Stingone is asking on all platforms. With Hootsuite, the free version is going to limit how many platforms, how many channels that you can use as a scheduling tool. But LinkedIn doesn't. I don't think LinkedIn yet natively has where you can schedule posts. So I would use Hootsuite on my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But Creator Studio is Facebook and Instagram. You can schedule. Twitter is rolling out, even though Twitter I know is not. Twitter is like it's been around longer than most of the platforms, so it's kind of
Right.
it's a little out of favor depending on how you want to use it for your business. But it is rolling out a scheduling tool. Not everybody has it yet. You can get it on your desktop, but you might not have it on your phone. So you just have to see if there's a little calendar icon. But anyway, just to stick to the point, I believe if you want to stand a chance, every day, at least one post a day, to me is important. I think it's important. Stories to me is also the visual of Twitter. It's the visual. There are people who don't post often on their feed, but they're posting every day, multiple times on their stories. So we did stories 2 weeks ago, and we had some tips about stories 2 weeks ago. So don't forget to catch that on the replay if you haven't seen it yet. But
Yeah.
just to stick to your point, I think every day. I don't think there's a reason not to, because you can schedule. So that's what I'm going to say about that.
Right. Well, that's the frequency part of it. But now we have the consistency part. So if you do have a message, that message should be pretty consistent. So maybe you have a campaign going on one month, or there's, some special theme for the month. So sticking to something that is, going to be consistent is also important, because, again, original content will boost SEO, and and the consistency along with the frequency is going to create that audience engagement.
Can I take this time to, since we're at about 45 minutes, and also before I forget, can I present a couple of tools to people that might be helpful?
Sure.
Okay. We talked about, pulling everything together, because we talked about calls to action and SEO and written word, audio, video, transcripts, captions, all that. A lot of fun stuff. We probably should put our outline somewhere so people can see all the things that we addressed. But there's a book here. It's Content Mavericks, and it's a 7-step content marketing handbook. If you like to have a resource to follow through with how to put all the content together, this is Andrew and Pete. They're in London, but they're Mavericks in their own right. And here's a book that I fell in love with as well, the Content Fuel Framework. Now, the thing about this book that's so cool, let me get to the The essence of this book is that basically content is focus and format, and she puts 10 ways to generate content. So there's video and infographics, and then there's the focus. So the formats is the video, if it's a podcast. She has here writing, infographic, audio, video, live video, image gallery, timeline, quiz, tool, map. And then it's like, what are you going to talk about? You can talk about the history of your business or how you became, an expert in your business. You can talk about people involved in your business, the basics of your business.
Yeah.
So, and then she goes into each focus, 10 focuses, and then she goes into 10 formats and what it all means. And you could just take this and every day, pick one from here and generate that content.
So what you're saying, Linda, is there's never a lack of content. When somebody says, well, I don't know what to say, I don't know what my content is. And that's one of the challenges that we mentioned before. So how do I do all that? And that, what you're just mentioning now, the format and the focus, that's where you draw your content from, because you're in business and you have a reason why. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, the author of this book, I saw a video with her and my social media queen friend, Christine Gritman, and she was using a 10 face die or whatever, and you roll the die and then you pick. I don't have a 10 face die. I didn't want to get one, but what I did was I put the 10 focuses and the 10 formats, I put them on little pieces of paper in 2 different little like Ziploc bags so that I could just pull out, and it's like, oh, I'm going to talk about data and I'm going to do a video about it. So that's a way you can challenge yourself with developing the content. And here's another resource that I'm going to put in the comments. I think this is, bye, Tracy. Thanks for joining us today. I will tell you, there's a lot of content calendars out there, but I found one that I fell in love with, and I'm going to put it in the comments. And and Elisa, I think you actually got this as well, where she gives you focuses and she gives you the focus of every day on what to post. So she prompts you with ideas on what you can post. And I will tell you, it's been a game changer for me because it's gotten me out of the regular, let's talk about, when you, it just helps you get out of your head. And so I'm going to do that right now.
It helps you to think. It helps you to think more creatively as well. Exactly. And then you can see that it's in a specific format. So you have that calendar in front of you, and then that'll kind of give you ideas on what to do, when to do it, how to do it. But those are great resources, Linda. The books, the content calendar, and then the question also is, well, where do I go to create this content? So I've been using Canva. It was introduced to me a couple of years ago, and I create, and so does my assistant Veronica. We create the content in Canva, and it automatically is formatted for Facebook, Instagram, for event covers, for custom. You can make your custom or flyer, just about anything. It's such a great program to use for your content. Everybody should be using it. And it's free, or there's an upgrade. We have the pro version, which gives you a lot more option.
Yep. Same with me. I have the pro version, but there is a free version. And this is the other thing. Here's another tool that's free that I have fell in love with for this year and has been a game changer for me, is Trello, which I think I think they were bought by some company that starts with an A, Altison or something like that. But you can find Trello.com. One of the things that I love the reason why I love it so much is you can organize the boards in different ways. And then they have what's like index cards below. And I have a Trello board just for the vlogs, for the videos. and I put all the assets in there. I put the images for the thumbnails in there. I create the description in the Trello board, so then it's a copy and paste when I go to LinkedIn or I go to Facebook. It's always there. And then I take a blog, and then I can organize the vlog and the blog that's going into a newsletter, and all the description, the content, the written word is already there, the images are already there, and it's organized. And they have checklists in there, they have due dates. So there's just, it's great to organize, again, because of going back to the challenge of how overwhelming, which platform,
It is.
where, what are you putting where? It's exhausting.
So also when you are a solopreneur, which means that, you're doing everything, you're doing the sales, you're doing the operations, you're doing, everything about your business, including marketing, these tools can really help you to get organized so that you can be consistent and frequent. And, you know exactly what you're doing, because marketing is a full-time job, and, we don't always get to do it 100% of the time, because we are focusing on new business. We are focusing on different things. But you had mentioned something before that is very key and very important to me, is collaborating. Collaborating with people, with other businesses, like we're doing today. We're collaborating because we are like-minded as far as this kind of information is concerned, and collaborating with others, with other businesses, or, just to, kind of spread that word exponentially. Because once you collaborate, then people are going to see who you're collaborating with, their friends, their posts, and then your information, your content, your, everything that you do. So it's important to have those collaborators that you can depend on to help you with, spread the word about your message, and then you do it in turn for them. So it works.
Exactly. I mean, I just don't think, I think there's a way to, you learn. I think you learn, not only do you learn, but you're motivated, because you're then applying the things you learned, and it's all about practice. When people say to me, they're like, how'd you figure that out? It's like, you just, I might have talked to somebody, my accountability buddy that I talk to every Friday, Anne is the president. She and I did a live yesterday, and then you put it into practice. The thing is, even if you're not doing it, it doesn't matter. If you start it and then you practice it, it's about building a habit. It's not about the metrics, because people be discouraged if you don't have 1 million followers and you don't have 1 million views. People don't want to, they think it's a waste of time. And that is absolutely untrue. So, untrue. You have to start somewhere. The thing too is, I don't remember who said this. I was listening to a podcast, and they said the people who are comparing themselves to the influencers that have 500,000 followers or more, whatever, they're looking at videos after they've done 700 videos, and you're on number 7. You can't compare.
No,
you just can't, because they may have started 4 years ago or 7 years ago with something. And you're just, maybe you're picking up on it now, because who knows, but you're doing it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Do you think I didn't want to do live streams? We started doing live streams back in March when COVID hit. All his live gigs for the music ceased indefinitely. So we started doing live gigs, live streaming gigs. But before that, I was like, I'm not going on live. I don't even know. I'm going to, right? So I can't edit it. You can't edit it. It's happening right now. Just like 20 minutes ago when I lost my train of thought. Embarrassing, but okay.
I heard something, or I read it, or like I said, we listen to podcasts, we take courses, we watch videos. There's so much information out there. But I heard something about content marketing and content as social listening. So I'm like,
Ooh,
oh, that's new.
that's a new one.
I like that. Social listening. So are there listeners out there that want to hear what we're saying? I mean,
Exactly.
what are we saying? And is it relevant to anybody? Is this helpful? So anything that we do, whether it's this kind of video, or if it's anything that we post, who's listening? And we can't compare ourselves to others. We just have to go with what our audience likes and wants and attract those people that are going to want to use your service and your product and anything that you do, so that you are your own influencer. You have your own tribe. You have people that are your followers. You know who they are. So let's talk to them. That's what this is about. Let's get that content out there and talk to those people that already like us.
Right.
And then maybe they'll tell their friends.
Exactly. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that very, very much. Really do.
Thanks.
I think, I think the thing is, it's good to research two different aspects. Somebody's calling me. Sorry about that. Number one, what format do you prefer? Do you prefer posting on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter? Do you like video? Do you like podcasts? Do you do anyone here do a podcast, by the way? Because I know a couple of podcasters, but you decide what you like to do, and then there's also the coordination of what do you think your audience likes. Where is your audience consuming content? And then meet in the middle somehow, some way. If it's not identical, if your future client, or if your audience is listening to podcasts and you're not doing podcasts yet, it's okay, but maybe they're watching a video.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can track that through your insights. So check out your insights on Instagram and Facebook and see how many people are and what they're watching. We try to look and see which posts get the most interest.
Right. Yes.
So, really. And then you can kind of build on it from there. It's kind of like, trying to predict, like, the predictive analytics out there. You're trying to predict what people are going to do and buy and use. So, there's a lot of information here as far as content and content marketing is concerned. And this is like a very, very broad, very broad subject.
Well, also, I'd like to bring up whatever you're doing. And you wouldn't be watching this right now or hanging out with us if you weren't interested in managing your marketing. But whatever you do, I think spending some time on the insights, or spending some time every day, whether it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes, in seeing how people are engaging with you or engaging with your target audience, even if they don't know you, and even if they don't know you, it doesn't matter. But if you're engaging, it's going to be a reciprocal process, where then all of a sudden you're going to have a little bit more activity. And it's sort of like that, going to the gym, the hardest is actually walking out the door. Well, I think it's the same with marketing. You have to, it's about engagement. It's about participating in a conversation. And in order to have your message be engaged with, you have to sort of prod them along. You got to prompt it along. You got to give people a reason to interact with your content. If you're splashing content up and there's no human behind those images or those posts, it's gonna just, it's going to fall flat.
See people. They want to see people. They want to go to your website or your, wherever you have your content, and they want to see somebody's face. When I go to a website, a business website, and I don't see an about me, and I don't see a person there, I'm like, well, what is this? Is this really a person, or is it just a logo? So what is that? Who's behind that? And that's very true. People want to connect with people. They don't want to connect with a logo or a concept or anything else. They want to see whose face is that behind that business.
Exactly.
So there, I mean, I could talk about this all day, but
Yeah,
I
it's very,
think
it's
an hour is enough for now.
I know. I think it's enough now. So I think with that, since we're at an hour and 26, 28, 29 seconds, we're going to bid adieu. I don't know if we have a topic